Hi Susie, okay, second video. What we're going to do, we're going to dive straight in and start looking at books and start populating this spreadsheet. So once you're in the book arbitrage under the member central, go to research, find books. Now these fields are going to dictate what results you get down here. Just so you know, anything highlighted is a book that we've already looked at. You can unhighlight it or highlight it here as you see fit. So price used. As a rule of thumb, we don't want to be going over $20 for the price of the book. That's including delivery. Obviously if it's 21 or 22 and if there's profit in it, then yeah, we can look at it if there's a few dollars over, but try and keep books under $20. And if you can find any books for $7 or $8, $10, as long as the margin's decent, then great. So for this example, we'll just start with 4 and we'll max out at, let's say, 21. The minimum age of a book, we don't want to be doing books older than 10 years really. Again, you can go 1 or 2 years over this, just play around with the fields to get different results. But let's say 2008, we don't want any books older than that. Amazon price is always going to be the top end price. You'll never be able to compete with an Amazon price. So the highest costing book here we'll search for is 80, a minimum of 80 I should say, and we'll also do that with the brand new books, $80. Again, you can play around with these. I'll leave them for now. This is an important one. We don't want any books with a sales rank of over 1 million. Okay, because if we look at this sales rank chart here, books with 1 million, on average, they take 10 days to sell. So ideally, you don't even want to be up to 1 million. You want to really be around this mark, ideally, because the higher the rank, the faster they sell, the quicker we're going to be able to sell that book and get a return on it. So completely forget these. You don't want any books like that. You only want a few of these books that are 1 million, because it still takes 10 days, but ideally keep below 800,000. But I mean, this all plays into where we keep it in the prime seller list, whether we're positioned 3rd or 4th or ideally 1st. No more than 3 really, because that just means we're going to sell it quicker. So you can save these filters for next time you use them, and then let's apply them. That'll just take a minute to update. Okay, so as you can see, we seem to have a brand new list of all the books. None of them are highlighted, so I've not even looked at any of these before. This system updates it quite regularly. This is the core of everything that we do. Now if you click on title of the book, it'll take you straight through to the sales page of all the sellers here, sellers names here, as you can see. And if you just to click on the ISBN number, that takes you straight to the prime page, or alternatively you can just click prime there. So let's start that again. Let's click on, I always go to title because I want to know how much the price of the book is. So we don't go for acceptables, so we can rule them out. We never go for acceptables. They're not trustworthy enough. So good is the first one. So $14.99 plus $3.99. So you're looking at about $19 there. I think that's $18.98, something like that. So $19. Let me get the calculator up. So don't forget we're using the 3 times rule. I mean, $19 times 19 is 57, I think. But let's just get a calculator up anyway so we can make this easy. Sorry, I should have got this up before. So using the 3 times rule, so shipping for cost $14.99, so we'll call that 19. So 19 times 3. So our prime cost now, the top position, if we click on Prime, we need to be selling this at 57 to make profit. Now, as you can see, 57, that's going to be on, there you go, that's way down the pecking order. So there's at least 10 books before that. Now I say 10 books, but if I click on how many, not every seller might just have one book in stock. So it could be more than 10 books. By the way, this isn't a good book. We're going to skip this one. We could have made this decision within 10 or 15 seconds already, but obviously I'm just going into further detail. Oh, there you go. So this, rentals. They're usually cheaper, but don't worry about rentals. Pretend they're not there, because you rent a book and you send it back. So we're not competing against them. So if you ever see a rental, pretend it's not there. Ignore it. So our first competition really is that $25.95. One book there, one book, one book, one book, one book, one book. They're all one book sellers. Oh, there you go. There's a 3-book seller. So instantly he's got to sell 3 books. Say that we was listed at $57. We'd have to wait for that 1 book, that seller to sell 3 books, them to sell a book, that one, that one, that one. So you're talking a good dozen books there, and there's only 9 sales per month estimated. And don't forget, they take that figure from this keeper chart. Every time it spikes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is a sale. This is over 3 months, by the way. Notice that the 0 sales rank is at the top, so 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. Looking at green lines, it might seem a bit complicated at first, Susie, but you'll get used to it. It's quite easy once you get the hang of it. So you can look at an average here, and it's about a 300,000 book. However, due to the competition, we're not even going to bother with this. There's just far too many books. So let's just move on quickly. We'll do it at a quick pace. So all you need to know, first book, 21 plus 4 roughly. So in your head you're thinking $25, $26. You can't buy this book unless you're making, what have we got, 25 times the 3 rule. So this needs to be $75. And again, it's possible, but you're on a second page, so we'll skip that one. Also, we've gone over our maximum $20 book price, which we don't want to do really. Oh, one thing that I could do, rank. I can order these in rank. Just by pressing that, I've moved all the high ranking books to the top, say 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So now the best ranking books are now at the top, which is going to help you all the more. And you can do that with every field, but I always do that with the rank. So the prime is being listed there on this sales page, which usually they're listed under the prime. So we know to skip that straight away because there's no profit. And it's going to be the same there. I mean, once you're up to speed with it, Susie, you can literally make a decision as quick as this. Right, that's a rental, so we'll ignore that. So 15 plus 4, so you're talking about $19 there or thereabouts. So that's 19, don't forget your 19 times your 3 rule. So that needs to sell for 57 to make profit. Where's 57 on here? It's too far down. It's going to be on the second page, so we'll skip that. Next one. We do need to go through a lot of these to rule them out. How much is that? 4 plus, that's 23. Okay, it's a little bit over, but let's see what it's got anyway. Because 23 you'd have to sell for 60 odd. Again, that'd be the second page, that skips. Yeah, so we need to, you might end up having to do 100 of these, but it's so quick to do. You can make a decision within 30 seconds once you're up to speed. And out of 100 that you search, you might only find 5, 10 or 15. But because the profit's there, you only need 5 or 10 bucks to actually get a return on your investment with it. So per hour, Susie, I would recommend that you do 100 searches. So there we go. Good. What's that? $24. So this prime has to be for about $60, $70. Too high again. Let me just make sure my settings are right. Price used, yeah, okay. I'm going to see if I can I'm just going through this quickly. I don't recommend that you do it this way. I'm just trying to find a book which might sell. Well, that didn't work like that. So let's do that. Right, okay. What I'll do, Susie, I'm just going to pause this so I can locate one which will be good for us to go. So just bear with me a minute. Okay, Susie, so what I did, I just tweaked the settings here. So instead of it being $21 max, I made it 18. That just refreshes all these books and gets some new ones into the mix. Again, you can play around with all these fields. There's 6 pages here under these settings, so once you've done going through all them and you found all the books that you think you can find, just tweak the settings, play around with them, and then you'll get another batch of books come through, and then you can just go along using the tabs button there once you go down each page. I have found one which is probably a contender as to an example as to what is the kind of thing I'm looking for. So it's a good price. It's $10.45 and $3.99 shipping, so it's right in our sweet spot of what we're looking for. Usually if you find a cheap price at the top to the rest of them, you know that it's going to put you in good stead. It's a good book as well, because obviously we ignore the acceptables. If it's very good, then that's perfect. However, that's going to be about $4 more, so with good we could probably do something with that. So let's just put this into the calculator. So $10.45 and $3.99 shipping, that comes to $14.44. So let's do the 3 times rule. So we want to be selling this book for about $43, there or thereabouts, so we can pay the admin fees, pay for the book, and then also turn a profit. So let's have a look at the prime. Let's see what our competition will be. So the first couple of spots there, rentals, we can ignore them completely. It's irrelevant. Let me just refresh that because the keeper has gone awry. There we go, that's better. This is a far more interesting graph. Look at the spikes here, Susie. Every spike represents a sale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it gives you an idea. This is a 3-month duration. As you can see here, you can change it here. I stick with a 3 months one. Also, notice that your zero is at the top here. So obviously the more spikes at the top the better. Just so you know, sometimes you can flip that so the zero is at the bottom, but I like to keep it at the top. Sorry, the zero's at the top, but you can do whatever you feel comfortable. I work with 0 at the top. It looks like a proper graph then, so you want the spikes nearer to the top. There's other settings here that you can have a look at, but those are pretty much the ones that I keep to. And obviously, as you hover over everything, it gives you a sales rank, 52,000, although you can get a feel of the sales rank just seeing where the graph peaks and troughs. But you can look at a specific date and it'll tell you how much a book was sold when it was new. Sales rank, because sales rank does fluctuate weekly, if not daily. But look here, so we'll get our calculator. Our 3 times rule is $43, so we ignore the rental and that rental. Okay, so we're not going to be able to beat that. We can't beat that. However, it starts getting interesting here. We're close, not quite. Again, not quite. But here, we could put that book at $44.96, and then we'll be listed here. So then we'd only have to wait for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. In fact, let me just check the stock using how many. Make sure that each seller's only got 1 book in, because if one of these sellers has got 50 books in, then we'll have to skip it, because we can't wait for them to sell 50 books before it gets to us down here. So let's just see what it comes back with. So it's got 14 monthly sales. It's got a high sales rank, as you can see all these purchases here. Now if you just look back on 1 month from May here, what are we in? We're still in May, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So as you can see, just from this bit here, it gives you a representation of how many. It's an estimate, it might be 1 or 2 out, but 14 in May books is what it's been sold. Obviously that's self-explanatory, estimated 30-day sale price, and there's the sales rank as it currently stands. So 34,000 is extremely high, considering there's a scale of like 5-6 million, if not more. Now again, if we look at our chart, if it's below 300,000, so you're talking 1 to 2 days per day this book sells, so it's going to be hot. Now do bear in mind when you're looking for books, Susie, what I want you to find are books where I can be listed in the top 3 spots. Again, doing away with these rentals. I don't really want to be going below the top 3 spots, certainly not below the top 5. However, when you have a book with such high sales rank and they're selling 14 a day, 14 a month, then sometimes you've got a little bit of extra room to play with, especially when there's only 1 book available from each seller. So we can be listed here, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would be 6th. So based on this 14, we could be next in line in about 2 or 3 weeks, because they sell 14 in a month, so half of that is about 7, and we're 6th. We could sell that within 2 weeks, which is fine, which isn't bad. Now obviously some customers may still buy for these cheaper options, so that 14 mentioned, some of them sales might come from here, but a lot of people do use their Prime. Let's click on how many again. So it's an estimate. There's no exact science to it. It doesn't mean to say that it will sell in exactly 7 days or 14 days, but it gives you a rough idea. It's got high sales rank, it sells many per month, and when you take how many it sells per month using the sales rank and the stock per seller, you can get a feel as to how quickly it may sell, where in line I can be. Again, try and aim for the top 3, Susie. I know this is about 5th or 6th. Usually I don't go this far down, but it is a one-off book. But I just wanted to show you this because it's a good example as the kind of book that I would probably go for. And also, if you think about it, it's a relatively low amount of money to put up front. I mean, that's, how much did we say, $14, $15 to buy the book. I mean, that's a relatively good risk to take, especially when I could sell that at, how much did I say, 43, and I'd still do 100% return on the money. I could make $10 or $15 on that, and if I need to readjust the price and bring it down, I've got a bit of room to manoeuvre. Say that I wanted to move it to $39.74, I can do that at a later date and gain a position. Alright, I might lose a bit of profit, but I'll still make some money, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. We need to continuously make sure that we're always in profit. So what we would do here, Susie, use this as an example. We're happy that it falls in the 3 times rule. We can sell it for profit. Ideally it needs to be in the top 3 or top 5, but in this rare example we'll go for this because it's like 6th position, but because they sell quite a lot per month, I am confident within 2-3 weeks I'll probably get a return on this. So we'll take the title, we'll start filling our spreadsheet. So today is the 31st of May. We'll put in the name of the book, and then we want the link. Use the FBA option for the link. Make sure you're on Prime selected here. Grab the link, Susie, and then bang it in there. And then when I come along and have a look, I can just literally click on that link and it'll take me to this page, and then I can say, okay, what have we got? Where is it? What's it all about? This column, you won't be able to fill that in. That's for my personal seller central page. I will put it in there, but I doubt you'll be able to use it anyway. So if I was to purchase this book, what should I say it was? It'd be $14.44. That'd be the cost of the book and the shipping. Now, potential price. This is a figure that we need to have a gut reaction about. I mean, some of these prices go up to $189.95, but what I like to do sometimes is look for an Amazon price. That's a bad example. I mean, it's hard to say what the potential price could be. I would just stick with the FBA price of the listing next below where I'm going to list it at. I mean, I could say it's 189 the potential, but it's unlikely someone's going to buy it at that. So let's just use, because I want to be in this space here between 39.75 and 44.97. So let's put a realistic price of 44.97, because that's the price that's below where I want to be situated. The shipping was $3.99. In fact, let's just put that down to 10. What was it? 10.45. I've just taken off the shipping there because the shipping goes in there, you see. And what this does, this part, see this code here, this automatically adds this up. So my Amazon fee with the prep fee is going to be roughly that. And then obviously the 3 times ROI, actually that wouldn't make sense, so I do need to include the shipping on that part. I'll have to have a re-look at this because that's not being taken into consideration. So that's fine, yeah. So this field here, Susie, sorry to go over it again, always add the shipping in, just because it does work out with the 3 times rule there, the way I've calculated it. Now, that's the only part that I will need you to do on each book. Just A to I. Every time you find a book, fill this in, and that's all the information I will need to know to actually purchase the book and send it into the prep service in America. Later down the line, these green fields here, that's for pricing. So as you can see, say that 3 weeks come by and it's not been sold. Just get the Prime page up again, and it's not been sold, and I'm in this position, then I might want to do it at 39.74. So we would put it in that book. In this part, we'd put the date of when we last checked the price. Inventory is always going to be 1 at this stage. We don't buy 2s or 3s at the moment. We might do in the future. And then in standing position, again, that would be, well, we'll include the rental 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So we would be 8th if we did it 44.96. So we just put 8 in that field. 1, today's date, which is 31st of the 5th, 18. And then the price that we're listing it at, so for argument's sake, what was it going to be? 44.96. We're going to be a penny cheaper just to get that extra spot. 44.96. And then the first FBA, that'll be, again, ignore the rentals, 22.95. Just gives me an idea of scope. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, by all means you can put in the recommendation of the prices when you're doing this part, but it's not until the book's actually in FBA and is listed on Amazon is when we need to dig deeper into this bit and make sure that we just get it sold as quickly as possible. And this section is all about the repricing, which there is a video on your attachment that's worth having a look at. And then this part, you don't have to worry about this. This is all automatically calculated. This part is the difference in price between my price and the first FBA. So the difference between 44.96 and 22.95 is that. The profit, if I was to sell it at the price that I've put in, will be this, and I'm just trying to which is that price there, so it's calculated with that, and that'll be my profit, and then that's your return on investment in terms of percentage. So don't worry about these three fields. These 5 fields will come to with the pricing. Feel free to just put that in at the time of finding a book. But these fields are important when you're first locating the books for me, Susie. As soon as you find them, bang them in here, and then what I can do, I can go over them. I can just quickly open them like that, and I'll look and say, okay, let's take the prime off. How much is the book? $10.45 plus $13.99. Okay, it's about $14–15. So I know I need to sell that book for about $45. So look at the prime. Okay, it's doable. I can put it there. But I will be looking for the top 3 positions mainly, Susie, just so you know. This is just a one-off example when we can go slightly below that. Hopefully that clears that part up. I'll leave it at that. The videos on the spreadsheet should be able to help you learn a bit more, but I think I pretty much just about covered everything that is required. It's just a case of getting your head around it now, Susie, and getting a process going. Again, if you can do 100 searches per hour, it really is fast going when you're not, because when you're actually up to running, up to speed with it all, you can just think, okay, that's $20, so this prime needs to be $60 less. No, it's too far down. But then again, I'll look at the sales rank quickly. It's not a bad sales rank. Okay, it might be worth a bit more investigation. However, if you don't want to go with that, it's literally just close it. You know where you was, move on, next. And that's how you can get through 100 in an hour. And like I say, if you're doing around 10 books that you can find per hour, then you're doing okay. Between 5 and 15 is the average, is what I find. So that's hopefully, I mean, we're on a trial period at the moment, but hopefully we'll be able to find around about 10 books per hour, and then we can make this work and we can scale things up as we go along. Right, that's enough of me ranting on now, Susie. I'll send these videos over. I'll send you all the access details. Just go through everything. Let me know if I'll give you a couple of hours to go through all the training. That's fine. I'll pay you a couple of hours hourly rate for that. And when you're up to speed and you've got any questions fired my way, what we'll do then is just get going with it, and I'll allocate a few hours for you next week. Cheers, Susie. Thanks. Bye bye.